So between the news of The Mandalorian getting a second season and the Clone Wars wrapping up beautifully,
damn, son,
I'm feeling very nostalgic for that galaxy far, far away. So will you join me for a walk down memory lane with... Star Wars. I love Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. It's like one of my favorite things of all time. I love the stories, I love the characters, I love all the vehicles and the factions. I love the Force, the Jedi. I love lightsabers.
you're under arrest, Chancellor. The Senate will decide your fate.
And growing up, I loved the games. Jedi Academy was recently brought back to the Switch, and I picked it up because I never got a chance to play it. And I'm really enjoying it. But as I was cutting people in two with my blue and green lightsabers, a question popped in my head, and I thought I should talk about it. What the hell happened to Star Wars games? Exhibit A, my friends, the Battlefront series. I'd say the original Battlefront 2 for the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 was everything I ever wanted in a Star Wars game. It had space battles. I loved flying around in different fighters and landing in the enemy hangar and blowing up some of the enemy's stuff. You could play all kinds of heroes and villains from the movies like Mace Windu and Boba Fett. It had a story mode. Does anyone remember that? The story of the game follows the clones in the 501st Legion, you know, the boys in blue.
My squad, bitch, I'm down for my squad. Don't care about no problem.
The campaign goes from the Republic era to the age of the Empire, and that's the perfect kind of story for a game like this. It celebrates all the eras and focuses on the war in Star Wars. I love this game, and it saddens me that the newest take on Battlefront 2 made by the goddamn devil isn't very good.
Objection! But the new Battlefront is in a lot better shape now. It's a lot more fun. Plus, the new Battlefront had a campaign too.
Yeah, you have a point there, I guess. However, the campaign was forgettable at best and mediocre at worst, and only focused on the post-Republic era. And there's nothing wrong with that, but wouldn't it be nice to do a little something for all the eras of Star Wars? Especially since most fans now grew up with the Clone Wars, so they have a lot of love for that particular era of Star Wars. And I know they tried to connect to The Last Jedi or something. Oh look, that compass is in the game, and it's also in the movie. Yay. Look at all this connective tissue. Oh my gosh. Listen, the new Battlefront is fun-ish. I play it from time to time, but only because I love Star Wars and it's one of the few ways I can get my fix. And I will admit that it's in a lot better place now than when it first launched, but they should have got it right the first time. And after years of patches and playing catch-up, it's still not the best. You know, I really enjoyed Fallen Order. I thought it had a good story and it looked amazing and was fun overall, but I couldn't shake the feeling I've been here before. And not in a good way. Maybe it's because it was too much like Dark Souls and I think that type of game is getting worn thin nowadays. Or maybe it was the fact that there's a holocron with a list of Force-sensitive babies on it. You know, like that arc in the Clone Wars, or like in the Vader comic run. Seriously, why are there so many lists of Force-sensitive babies in the galaxy? It's weird. Or maybe it's because it's set after episode 3 and I couldn't help but miss The Force Unleashed. And in that game, the story was such a fresh idea. You got to play as the apprentice of Darth Vader and hunt down Jedi. It was dark, and when I was younger playing it, I felt kind of wrong fighting the Jedi. But it was interesting, and I was invested very early on. I had to see what was going to happen next. And in contrast, in Jedi Fallen Order, I pretty much figured it out from the announcement. A young Jedi that survived Order 66 and is on the run from the Empire. It introduces some characters and kills some characters. Oh look, Darth Vader, you should run now. Credits.
Objection!
God damn it.
That's bullshit. Those are completely different games. You can't compare them, okay? Force Unleashed is a power fantasy game. Jedi Fallen Order is a slower game, a thinking man's game. You need to get good, scrub. Can I get an F in chat, please?
Right. Well, I agree that they're very different games mechanically, and that's very intentional. But I want to point out a couple of things. First, where are all the fun unlockables? In Fallen Order, I can get ponchos. Yay. Where are the costumes, like a Jedi outfit or a Mandalorian armor set? Or let me play as another Jedi. I would have happily played through that game again if I got to play as Plo Koon with a yellow lightsaber and see all the cutscenes again as a different character. That's not to say Fallen Order didn't do some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love when you go to Ilum and get a new lightsaber crystal. That was awesome. I got goosebumps. I think that might be my favorite level of the game. But I can't ignore that, in my opinion, The Force Unleashed told a more compelling story. When I beat Force Unleashed, I learned that Vader started the rebellion, and the rebel symbol comes from Starkiller's family. I felt that this was all in the will of the Force, without anyone telling me. Versus Cal breaking one of the 3 lists of magical babies and saying it to the camera. Plus, Force Unleashed had a black lightsaber. Checkmate.
Okay, but you have to admit The Force Unleashed 2 was bad.
Oh yeah, that game was ass. Are you kidding me? This game needs a sequel.
Incoming! Multiple heavy hostile!
Period, paragraph, mic drop. Star Wars Republic Commando is an absolute gem of a game. It was so cool. It was gritty and dark, and it felt like one of the books. And you know, Star Wars in the books is some grimdark shit. Let me back up a minute. Republic Commando is a first-person squad shooter where you play Delta Squad, a clone commando unit, with Sev, the sniper and violent sociopath, Fixer, the level-headed hacker, and Scorch, the happy-go-lucky demolition expert. As for the player, you are Boss. He's the boss. He doesn't have much of a personality, so the player can imprint themselves more easily, but he is played by the actor of all the clones and Jango Fett, so that's a plus. Now that you've met the boys, you're ready to fight in the Clone Wars on behalf of the Grand Army of the Republic, from Geonosis to Kashyyyk, and you got 2 of the best weapons at your disposal. First, the DC-17 blaster rifle. Deadly. Efficient. Sexy. And man, let me tell you something, slaps top of gun. This bad boy can fit so many attachments on it. Okay, so not that many. There's like 2, but these 2 attachments are awesome. You get a grenade launcher for big damage and explosions. Then there's the sniper attachment for long-range engagements. With this gun, you're like a one-man army. But you know what's better than 1 army? 4 armies. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that other weapon I was talking about is Delta Squad itself. As the leader of the team, you can command them to attack enemies, hack terminals, or breach doors. I can't tell you how fun it is to play this game. Just to shoot up some droids and then look up and see a vantage point, telling one of your squad mates to hop up there and start laying suppressive fire, it's a one-of-a-kind feeling. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Find a copy, I'm sure it's cheap. That's why I said this game needs a sequel. Could you imagine a game where you hunt down Jedi during Order 66? It would be dark for sure, but there's nothing wrong with that. Or you could have a Rebel Commando game where you're taking on the Empire, kind of like a Rogue One vibe. Or hell, just a sequel. I need to know what happened to Sev. I don't know. This game is great. Are there any objections?
Nah, man, this game is great.
Hell yeah, it is. So that's the long and short of it, I guess. I just love Star Wars and hope the future brings us some amazing games, not just one. But can you blame me? Games let us live in that galaxy a long time ago, far, far away. And I have a lot of great memories with Star Wars and the games. Do you remember when Justin Timberlake popped one of Janet Jackson's titties out during the Super Bowl? I don't. I was playing Jedi Starfighter. It was really funny, actually. I was playing and then I heard my aunt and grandmother scream in horror from the living room because suddenly nipple. And while the world was frozen, I was dogfighting with droid starfighters. I completely missed it. I love Star Wars more than the Super Bowl, what can I say? As usual, these are simply my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Do you think we'll be getting more good Star Wars games in the next generation of consoles? Do you think some of my thoughts and opinions are wrong? That's fine. Why don't you talk to me in the comments below? I'm Fasa the Silver Chimera. Don't forget to like the video only if you did, and if you feel like it, subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you on the next video.